So yeah, it would appear this is an artist. Like I said, we've covered this artist on the channel and this very song, but I guess REN has taken down Sick Boy, and we're gonna find out why now. Music's top attorney, she's covering like both sides of this, so I'd suggest going over there. I'll have it all linked up, but yeah, you look through his channel, you will not find Sick Boy. He's taking it off everything. So
this is a video that I never ever really wanted to have to make, but it's very important for me that I do. All the time, artists all over the world pour their souls into their work, and that work is tainted by money or greed. A lot of you will have been asking me the question why Sick Boy has disappeared now, as well as YouTube on streaming services. It's a video that was very close to me. It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people who have been gaslit by the medical community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it.
Yeah, he beat out
And
Rick
we'll no
Ashbury.
longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why. Also, I do recommend sticking around to the end of this video, because I've got a very exciting announcement about all of this that relates to all of this right at the end. People who have been following me for a while, they'll know the sort of person I am, they know the principles that I have, and they'll know how I treat other independent artists. So they'll know why it was so important for me to have to make this video. And I want this to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously, I'm emotionally affected by it, and that may leak in, right? But I want to share entire clips of these conversations so there can be no doubt.
Real quick, and this is something that is like personal to me. REN suffers from Lyme disease. And Lyme disease is one of them things that doctors, they really don't know how to treat it. There's different doctors that have, but you really get this, you know, you get doctors telling you that you don't feel the way you do, and trying to tell you that, oh, no, that's not what that, because they don't know how to treat it. So they, you know, if they can't make money off of it, or they don't know how to treat it, or can't treat it with something that will, you know, line their pockets, then, you know, so there's people all over the world with Lyme disease suffering, and literally the World Health Organization is telling people that, oh, these things that you're feeling, no, those aren't happening to you. That's all in your head. And yeah, that's...
Also, if Cujo and his girlfriend want to share any more screenshots of either of those conversations, I encourage them to, because I believe that this should all be public knowledge, so there can be no doubt. Rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently what has happened here. To give context for all of this, back in 2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right? For anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration. What I would usually do is buy a beat, arrange it slightly differently, tweak it myself, add my own vocals, add my own layers and stuff like that. I find this banging beat, right, from a producer called Cujo Beats, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is all very important to keep in mind for later on, right? I buy an unlimited license, which means that I am able to put it on all streaming platforms and get as many streams as I want, and all recording on platforms like YouTube, etc.
$100
right?
for it, yeah.
After I do this, I send my YouTube guy that I work with, and I send the publishing team an email just giving them a heads up.
Real quick, this beat could be sold over and over and over again. When you buy the license to the beat, artists, so it's not a one-time deal. They made $100, but they probably made thousands of dollars off that same beat before REN even got a hold of it. And if anything, REN's song probably would have encouraged more people to want to use that beat.
Being like, yo guys, I bought this beat, they need to be registered correctly, content ID needs to be turned off. I'll put a clip of that. I'm putting screenshots of those messages here, just in case Cujo claims I never did this. I did do this. I also went the extra mile and messaged the team and said, look, we need to credit him on Spotify credits and stuff like that as well, because sometimes artists don't always fully credit producers. I think that I forgot to do it in the YouTube description for like the first month or two, and then I updated it, and then he was fully credited the whole time, right? That was just a lapse because there was a lot going on. I was in Canada treating and stuff. But anyway, he was credited fully, like very soon in, everywhere. And as far as I was aware, registered everywhere. So I don't think anything of it, right? Also, in the BeatStars contract, it says very clearly that the person selling you the beat has to own the beat. And if there are any elements of the beat that he doesn't own, he has to let you know. This is very important to remember for what is to follow as well, right?
Yeah. Okay. Any copyrighted material or sound recordings belonging to any other person's firm or corporation, hereinafter referred to as owner, without first having notified licensee. Now that means they have to tell them that, hey, you're buying a beat that I already kind of stole or did something to, and I'm getting the feeling that that's where this is gonna go. But let's yeah.
So yeah, I think there's no problems. I buy the beat,
obligated to,
I record a song. This is before
REN.
Things have blown up with my music, so I'm still pretty underground artist at this point. I record the track, put it out. I even get a message from him at some point, which is also important to remember because of the hypocrisy of this whole situation. Just like, wicked, I love the track. Okay. Remember, it's an awesome song. Before I begin, I just want to add this. I have no problem with BeatStars. I think they're a very innovative company who actually help people make art, which I'm very, very passionate about. I think the contracts and the things you're getting into could be clearer because we're now in a situation negotiating older tracks bought from BeatStars. I would love to talk to the if anyone from there is watching, I imagine they will be at some point. I would love to talk to the CEO, founder of BeatStars, face to face, just because I want to understand how something like this could have happened, and I want to understand why it escalated the way it did, because from what I've heard, he's someone who cares a lot about artists, and someone who creates a platform like that, I think, must be very passionate about music.
We've heard those people that care about artists, like the guy that runs Spotify. Yeah, he's shown how much he cares about artists, but yeah.
I'd love to chat to you if you're listening, and I'd love to figure out why this happened and how we can stop things like this happening in the future. I also think that there needs to be a bit more stringent checks on if people are selling unlicensed samples, because then things tend to get a little bit sticky like they have here. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I have no problem with BeatStars because I'm not interested in going to war with them, because I think that it's really cool that there's a platform like that exists for artists and producers to be connected. Just thought I'd put that out there, make that clear. Right, so I arrive home from Canada after a 1.5 year long treatment of treating brain damage and autoimmunity, which a lot of you will know if you've been following my journey. And I'm expecting a nice 2 weeks with my mates before I do my first ever solo show in 5 years because of my health. So I'm just like, I want a nice chill time. I want to be able to focus on rehearsing and stuff. Very early on, I wake up to a message saying, yo, your song Sick Boy has been taken down. So I look at it, and sure enough, it's been copyright striked from this guy Cujo Beats' channel. And initially I'm like, oh, this just must be some automatic fuck up. Right. So like, I don't take it too seriously. I send him a message like, yo, there must have been a technical error or something here. No response for 2 days. So I'm like, what's going on? So I check his channel, and then I see a comment of that beat that he licensed me, and I see a comment that's like, Ren has left me no choice. I'm sorry that I had to do this. And I'm like, what? Okay, so this was intentional. Like, what? Like, the last conversation I had with this guy was months ago, with him being like, yo, big up your work, it's sick. So I'm like super confused about it. So I send him another email like, dude, what's going on? Again, I get absolutely no response. So I put a comment on his YouTube comment section, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get hold of you. Why are you ignoring me? Like, I just want to resolve this amicably. What's going on? Right. Finally, I get a response on Instagram. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put all of these responses in their full form so that there can be no doubt as to what happened. I'm just going to read out like the key moments and explain the key moments. But if anyone's like interested in deep diving so there can be no doubt as to what's happened here, feel free to pause it. If Cujo and his girlfriend, like I said, feel like I've left anything out, They are welcome to post it. I have nothing to hide about this situation.
Right,
so he
his girlfriend's
responds,
probably
and he
his
tells me that
manager,
he's been
right?
talking to my lawyer for months, which I have no idea about. I've been in Canada. And he seems like quite a nice guy initially, so I'm like, okay, maybe this has all just been a misunderstanding. I remember even to hide about this situation. So he responds, and he tells me that,
Hey, Ren, I'm really sorry that it came to this. I especially asked my legal, he's supposed to be especially, but I especially asked my legal rep not to request a strike since I wanted to avoid this type of situation. The rep has been in contact with your lawyer, who has been exceedingly incompetent in handling of the situation. Again, I'm sorry for this total cock up, and I hope you're doing okay. We have been in negotiations with blank for many months, and he has yet to come forward with reasonable terms according to the industry standards. So yeah, I'd like to talk to blank and see what he has. I'm still waiting on updates from my rep and rep at Beach Stars, and he says, hi man, I had no idea at all you were even talked to. Okay, so he had no idea that he was talking to his lawyer. He should have told you. All I was told was that a couple of months ago, the choir sample hadn't been cleared, and that they were chasing us for money, and that it was being dealt with. So just figured it was being sorted behind the scenes. That's why this has all been so surprising. Like how you're surprising. All I was told was that a couple of months ago, the choir sample hadn't been, okay, so he's replying to that. I was also made aware of, and I'm sorry you told, yeah, I'm sorry, caught you off guard. Okay.
that he's been talking to my lawyer for months, which I have no idea about. I've been in Canada. And he seems like quite a nice guy initially, so I'm like, okay, maybe this has all just been a misunderstanding. I remember even saying to like Connor and that, I was like, this has probably just been a misunderstanding and something's gone wrong here. Don't worry. He seems like you're alright, dude. We will sort this out. But then after that little exchange, I noticed a comment in the YouTube comment section on his video saying that I'm lying about the situation.
I have waited over a year for REN and his team to follow the terms of the contract they signed for this beat, which we just saw. During the whole period, I have not issued any strikes with the faith that they would make things right. I asked my legal representative not to issue strikes initially, as I had hoped REN and his team would do the right thing. Unfortunately, they have delayed and avoided providing any reasonable terms to my team, and shamefully long period of silence. Respect the terms of the contract. Don't spread misinformation. Don't lie. Everybody saw the contract back here, right? I mean, he showed it clear as day. He paid the money.
When I thought that we like on the same page here, so I pull him up on it, and he's like, oh no, I didn't say you were lying, when he clearly did. That should have been like the first red flag for me, but still giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe another misunderstanding. Anyway, so I contact my lawyer to find out what the hell's happening, because I'm in the dark about all of this situation. And he explains to me that I've been sold a beat with a stolen sample, with an unlicensed sample, and that the Bulgarian choir sample owners had chased him and gone, look, you've used this beat without permission. You've used this sample without permission.
Cujo used,
and so you need to give us 50% of the publishing split. And what my lawyer's done, because we were sold a beat in good faith and it wasn't actually cleared, he's reached out to Cujo and gone, look, I think you need to absorb this for selling this in bad faith, basically. And they've gone, no, we're not going to absorb that. And then it's escalated, and I think because my lawyer was being slightly slow with the responses, They also keep in mind, I don't know any of this is happening right now.
Hold on, wait a minute. This is like you steal a car, you sell it to a person, okay? They don't know that it's stolen. They get the car. Now, granted, there's titles and blah, blah, blah. But all of that can be worked around, surprisingly. So they get the car, and then they're driving down the road, and all of a sudden they get pulled over, and they have to go to jail for the theft of the car because somebody else stole it and sold it to them. You didn't know it was stolen. It'd be one thing if you knew, okay, this is a stolen car. I better go get a paint job and, do the things that, car thieves do, I guess. But, okay, that's what this is akin to, though. So now they think that Ren should have to pay when he would have never even bought the beat, or he would have just paid them to begin with. You're selling him stolen shit and then want him to be responsible. It's like trapping him into a... No.
And they issue a copyright strike on the video, which affects my YouTube channel, by the way, and the video gets taken down as a form of leverage, which is a bizarre way of dealing with things, I think, because it would have been a good idea to contact me, maybe, like anyone.
Right?
Anyone first, if this was getting so, like, blown up. Like, maybe the lawyers, maybe Cujo could have actually reached out to me, the artist. Nobody did. So I found that a bit bizarre. Any fucking way. Then I read another comment that Cujo's posted, calling me a coward to pay the royalties he's owed. And I'm like, what royalty? That's also... in my head, the publishers are just paying him the money, and now the situation has to change until everyone agrees on it. But I wasn't even privy to that conversation about what a fair split should be yet. So I was like,
right,
well, I don't owe you. I don't owe this guy money. Like, there's no master splits on the BeatStars contracts, by the way. So all money that comes in to Cujo, which should be paid to Cujo, rightly so, comes from the publisher, which is nothing to do with me, by the way. I explained this so many times in this conversation, by the way, and he's adamant to say, probably short of like 50 times, pay me my money. I am nothing to do with his money, right? So it's a very bizarre thing to keep saying, but I try to explain that to him.
Pay you the money that you owe somebody else?
Anyway, he calls me a coward on this comment, so I pull him up on that. This actually starts to then rub me up a little bit. So I'm like, I pull him up on that. It's saying like, the hell, like, cowardly? Anyway, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Anyway, despite this, I feel like he's probably just misinformed, so I still take his side on it, and I go on to reassure him he'll get paid his publishing money because I want him to get paid his publishing money. Doesn't affect me in any way. So like, I was like, yeah, I'll chase it up for you. I let him know that I'm happy to split publishing if there's a bit of a grey area, and I'm kind of reassuring him. It's really important to remember this, by the way, guys, because some of the lies that are posted later make me out to be really unreasonable. So I'm like, yo, if there's some simple mistake, let's split the publishing. It's cool. I'm happy to do that. Yeah. Anyway, so he comes back to me and lies more. He says, it's always up to the performer to clear the sample. It's not. It's up to the producer. But unless there's been a conversation. But in this case, as you can see, we're willing to make concessions for you to get your fair share. So actually, it's me making the concessions here because he sold a stolen sample. And I'm like, you know what? You can still have some publishing split, right? So like, I'm actually being the one that's being quite reasonable here. He's flipped on his head like, we'll be fair.
He shouldn't have to do anything at all. No, you stole the shit. You stole the beat and then sold it as if it was your own. Or you stole parts of it, whatever, and then sold the shit as if it was your own. It wasn't. And now you expect him to pay you because you got caught? Is that what I'm understanding?
Good to you, you know, because I've done nothing wrong in this situation. Anyway, I was like, and then he says, I was under the impression you would have received a warning. I had no idea that the video would be completely taken down. Another lie, as you'll see soon. He and his lawyer agreed to take this video down as a form of leverage.
Yeah,
it was our only possible negotiation tactic to get a response. Maybe message me.
You think?
They're scratching their head. How can we get a response? Okay, we'll take his video down, issue a copyright strike, which also I didn't actually violate the contract. not intentionally. So the only possible tactic, dude, message me, send me an email. Like, you've messaged me before to tell me that you love my work, so like, send me an email about this. Anyway, he says he also wants to wrap it up immediately and get the song back online. Another lie, as you will see later on, because he decides to stick to his guns and use the video as leverage. Anyway, the plot thickens. I get an email from their lawyer, and I'm not going to share it in case they start claiming I'm sharing things I'm not supposed to. But I get an email, and it says, on top of the publishing split, they want a £3,000 payment, right? They want a 15% retroactive split of the master, which has nothing to do with publishing, which means like 15% of everything the song has ever made since it came out.
This is
retroactively,
extortion.
So since it's come out to this moment and then into the future. When I've paid for an unlimited sample, unlimited license beat, and with that you're talking money from record sales, you're talking money from streaming things, you're talking all of that when they haven't put any effort into promoting the song. He's made a beat and he's stolen part of the beat, and he wants 15% of everything the song has ever made for that, plus a £3,000 advance. Out of principle,
that's extortion.
I wasn't going to give him that.
You can't do that.
Because like, may have been slightly open to negotiations if they hadn't used the song as leverage and actually treated me like a decent person. I hadn't put like lies like about the situation. Right?
We're in a bind here.
But nah, out of principle, I wasn't going to agree to that. And also to clarify, when I've been in rooms with producers and we've made a song from scratch, I've done a lot of like 50-50 splits, or I've done like 25-75, or with other collaborated artists, we just agree on a split that's like 50-50, 25. So, you know, like 15% isn't outrageous, right? What's outrageous is that they already sold it with an unlimited license right from the get-go. So you go into BeatStars thinking, I'm buying an unlimited license for this much money, right? And he
shouldn't have to pay anything else
when I
after
bought that beat. So it's like, you go into the situation buying something, and then later on down the line, it can come back and sting you if they go, oh, this slight thing, well, we found a loophole here, which means then now you owe us all this money, right? So it's like, it was kind of unfair, because say you buy a painting off somebody for £10,
right?
And then
you find out it's stolen.
Rises exponentially because maybe the painter dies or something, or he becomes really popular. You don't then just go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like 20 times more now, give me a bit more money for it, because the transaction's been done. And that's kind of how I felt about the BeatStars thing. It wasn't about me losing money, it was about the principle of like, we've stepped into this agreement, and I was in full faith thinking I was buying an unlimited sample, but that's unlimited license, sorry, but that's not actually what's happened, is it? Right? And it says that if I don't agree to this, they're within their right to claim 100% of the song because I have breached something in the contract, right? Now, this is what I breached.
This is...
Apparently, Content ID was turned on the track, okay, on YouTube. As you'll see from my earlier on in this video, I actually specifically requested Content ID was turned off, and my YouTube guide did turn it off. There has been something
because of
to do with the distribution where somewhere along the line, even after I specifically requested this, it may have gotten turned on at some point, right? Where this doesn't actually make any money, which we've got proof of, because I actually let reactors, I let content creators monetize their own videos where they're reacting to my songs. I've done this since the start because I believe that everyone should get paid. It helps promote me. I'm not losing out. Everyone's a winner. A rising tide lifts all ships, baby. So like, I'm like, they're using this as leverage, but legally,
this is extortion.
Versus the world, they actually had something to lean on with that.
I don't know what the friggin' laws are over there, but over here, this is extortion. You can't hold that. I don't think this is going to work out too good for Cujo Beats. I really don't. And I actually think there's like some like lawyer is going to face some legal issues too.
So they were like, look,
this is like legal.
If you don't agree to these terms, 15% retroactive master split, this share on publishing, and a £3,000 advance against the master, we're going to take 100% of what you own. At this point, I'm obviously pretty annoyed.
This is ridiculous.
Which is pretty understandable, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, at this point, they've got my attention, so there's no reason they need to use the video for Sick Boy as leverage, right? So I give them a fair warning. I'm like, mate, if you don't put the video back up on Friday, I'm going to have to put a public post explaining why it's down. And I give him a fair warning, which is also important to remember, because later on he plays the victim, saying that I've put a post encouraging my fans to bully him, which I didn't. I gave him a fair warning about it. I never once encouraged them to bully him. I just needed to explain why my video was down, because this was proper stressing me out, and I feel like I didn't want to be silenced about the whole situation. Right. But the time comes around, I put the post out, and I'm always still thinking for like a positive solution here. So I have like a brainwave of like, oh, I've got a brilliant solution, right? So I approach him and I'm like, dude, look, I know that things have got complicated here, but out of principle, I don't really want to budge on the master split for this thing, but I've got a much better idea, because a lot of my fan base are like now giving him, because I put the public post out, a lot of my fan base are giving him grief, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want this guy's life to get ruined because of this. Like, despite how frustrated it's made me, I don't want this guy to get ruined. I don't want him to get abused about it. I just wanted to get the song back. That was the thing. So like, I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, look, I thought of the thing, because I am a man of principle. I didn't want to bend to threats and stuff about the song being claimed 100%. Right, yeah. So I'm like, I've got a much better idea. Let's make a song. We'll split it 50-50 down the middle. Master, publishing, everything. A song from scratch. Then if we do that way, it'll be like a fuck you to the industry. Yeah, you and me on a track. You'll make way more money this way because it's 50-50. You'll also get my fan base on your side. It's going to be a great thing, because I'm always like, I want to look forward. I don't want to look backwards. I don't want to look at all these things that happened in the past. I'm like, this is actually going to make him even more. And he rejected it. He turned it down, which I still think to this day is a bit of a silly move given what happened and what happened next. But dude, it's a shame, man. And if you're watching this, you really should have taken that. I'm sure you are watching it. You really should have taken that deal. It was brilliant. Not only would it set you up with way more money, which is obviously what you most care about in this situation, but it also got loads of my fans on your side, which would also set you up for all things that you release independently as well, and you'd have come out this looking good.
Plus, people like me or any other content creator that wants to, hey, you guys like Ren, you'll probably like this guy, because this is the guy that Ren gets some of his stuff from. That, you know, this is part of like the skeleton of, you know, what Ren works off with some stuff. So, you know, I mean, he would get all sorts of bedroom producers, reactors for anything that he put out, because, oh, wow, this guy works with Ren. Let's check him out. I mean, this is like common sense. A friggin' kindergartner would be like, yeah, that's a great deal, dude. Yeah. Where do I sign? Like, where is there a pen? Oh, sheesh, thank you. All right, give me some paper. Sign my name. This is ridiculous.
Shame. I offered you that olive branch. I offered quite a few olive branches on numerous occasions, which you weren't interested in. Then after that, there's a post on Instagram saying that I've stolen samples from people, which is bizarre because I never have. So I send him a message being like, he said that a British artist has got in touch with him and been like, Ren steal samples, which is obviously complete made up bullshit, right? So I messaged him about that. I'm like, what samples have I stolen? The Vera Hall one that I just put out, totally cleared. We cleared that with publishing company because I actually don't like steal my samples. And then any covers that I've done, they're just on YouTube. You're allowed to do that because there's a cover license on YouTube. So like, what are you talking about? To which he then just like ignores it, takes the post down, and then like
this guy's a friggin'
goes on some other fucking tangent. So it's like kind of grasping at straws here to make me look like the bad guy. So we arranged to have this call with the lawyers and Cujo, and I'm actually really excited to have the call because it's the first time I can talk to Cujo face to face, deal with this like grown-ups, like adults, and talk to each other
instead of through Messenger.
But it's not how it pans out. So we get on the call, and the first thing that happens is the lawyer just says, look, Ren, I think that you taking this public was very unprofessional. And I was like, hold on a second, I wasn't the person who took this public, first of all. Like, taking the video down is an aggressive move. And also, I didn't take it public, first of all. Cujo was commenting countless things on his YouTube before I even make the comment. Calling me a liar, a coward, a numb. So, like, to say that I took this public, nah, I just responded to what happened and then explained to my fans why the song was down. Those posts are still up for everyone to see. All the posts on his comments are still there for everybody to see. So first of all, it was kind of like we got into it straight away with me like having to be like, I put it straight and then everyone was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. The funniest thing about that call is Cujo was on it. He did not say a single word. Even when I like addressed him with questions, his lawyer would interject and go, I can answer that. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to the person who's
I want to talk to him.
like an adult. I want to talk to this person. And then my lawyer, there's even a moment where my lawyer's like, look, I want to address this question to Cujo. Do you actually feel like this situation is fair? He says nothing, and the lawyer interjects again. So for that whole call, which took about half an hour, 40 minutes, he didn't say a single word, and I thought that was disrespectful.
Yeah.
Given the circumstances.
Also a bitch move.
He later claimed that it was because he doesn't legally know enough, and it should be between the lawyers. But no, man. Like, regardless of your legal knowledge, we can still have a conversation like adults. Like, I'm not here to try and like intimidate or anything like that. I want to talk to you like a grown-up.
Get the lawyers out of the situation. Just talk to each other.
I wasn't afforded that luxury. I was talking a fair bit on that call about how I felt about the situation and what I felt was right. And I also said on that call that I didn't think that a retroactive split was right, because of all the reasons I've mentioned. But
yeah,
it is what it is, man. And then we came off the call, and I felt pretty let down by it, to be honest. This is where the plot gets even more ridiculous, and I'm sorry this is a long video,
it gets
guys.
Worse.
But this is.
Oh my. Okay, we're already at like Starfleet levels of out there friggin' ridiculousness. This is just. I can't even believe his lawyer is trying to pull this shit. Like, I don't know what the laws are. They must be way different.
Mad, and this is emotionally exhausting, this bit. So I read a bunch of comments on Instagram from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the f is this? So I message him and be like, yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually doesn't state that it's on me to clear the samples. Then I click on the profile, I realise that it's Cujo's girlfriend, so I immediately unsend all those messages. Because to be honest, look, he was getting grief from my fans, and I think to myself, you know what? He needs someone supporting him, even though that he's been an arsehole. I don't want to like start messaging his girlfriend and shit, whatever. Right. I'll leave her out of this. But she sees that I've unsent the messages, and she instigates the conversation, says, have you done an oopsie? We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up so that you can read it. It actually ends up being, it seems to me, like it's like semi-amicable after a while of talking to each other. Like you can pause this and read this if you want. It's like, basically the long and short of it is like, she feels like Cujo's been misrepresented and feels like it's a lot of the industry's fault, my lawyer's fault and stuff like that, which is kind of what Cujo feels like, right? She then threatens to break my kneecaps, which, even though it's a little bit out of pocket,
or else I'm flying to London and breaking your kneecaps.
You know me, I laugh about it. The thing that rubs me up about things like that is, if that had been the other way around, I never actually once got violent about this situation. If that had been the other way around, they would have been like, Ren's such a violent, later on they would have been like, Ren's such a violent person, or using bully tactics, because they've spoken about like how I'm using bully tactics by simply talking about the situation publicly, transparently. She also gaslights me by saying, you know, like, imagine what would have happened if he had mental health issues. I have a very long list of mental health issues. I am the person with mental health issues. You're not considering what it does to my mental health, are you? When you take down a song that means that much to me, a song that I've poured into, that I'm exposing a part of me that's very vulnerable about my health journey. Like, you're not considering that, are you? All I've done is post publicly about the situation. I've never told anybody to send you guys abuse or anything like that. And actually, if anybody's watching this right now, for clarity, even though I am very annoyed about the situation, I don't want anyone to send them abuse.
Right,
I don't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm annoyed about the situation, but it's done now. The song's down. It's gone. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm not trying to ruin somebody's life over this. I'll have my own form of revenge, as you'll see at the end of this video, but I'm not trying to ruin anyone's life over this. So like, if they say to me that I'm trying to incentivize stuff like that, I'm not, guys. I don't want you to go and abuse them, right? But
right, that's not the way to do things. You know, fans and stuff, you know, stay out of it. You're not helping. You know, I mean, he can carry his own water. He doesn't, you know, if you want to help, just sit back and relax and let him work it out. But yeah, that's not cool, and it's not helping the situation at all. It really just tends to make things worse when fans, because it's it's now a thing that can be used. As you can see, it's already being, used as oh, well, your fans did this to me, so blah, blah, blah. But this is like so ridiculous. It's so like entrapment, extortion, and, like the levels of like screwery here is just, it's off the charts. And I'm sorry, he has to deal with it.
It is up to me to talk about this situation fairly. So like, we seem to make some middle ground. She's even talking to me about like her ADHD and knows that I've got ADHD, and like, maybe we just got. So I'm like, you know what? She seems pretty level-headed, right? So like, cool. You know what? Maybe these guys it's just a big misunderstanding and we can figure a way to amicably sort this out. And I say to her, look, yeah, I'm happy to split the publishing, but I don't really want to split the master out of principle because I bought this, right? But then at this point I start being like, you know what, maybe I'll split some of the master for the future stuff just to get this out of the way, even though I don't believe I should because they've stolen the beat with a stolen sample. I'm like, if this just gets this over the line, I'm happy to split the future master. I even say that in the email thread to the lawyers and stuff, right? So I'm conceding a little bit here because I just want this situation done with.
What's the song back?
We end on a good note in this conversation, then the next morning
they're literally holding it.
I wake up to posts from her all over my Reddit lying about the contract, and then I see a comment on Anthony Ray's video where he's talking about the situation from her, saying this is what the contract says, and she made up she wrote a whole passage that wasn't even in our contract. It was completely made up. So after her being super nice to me behind the scenes in this conversation and feeling like I wake up to read this and I'm like, I start losing my mind because I'm like, these guys, they're like, they pretend they're on my side, and then it's just like they publicly post all this stuff. So I'm like, I put her up on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, first of all, this is defamation. You can't be out here like making up stuff that's not even in the contract.
We're already getting into three things here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? So next, I find a bunch of messages on Reddit from Cujo's girlfriend lying about the contract, which I'm going to put up here, which is actually very illegal, by the way. No, I won't be pressing charges over it. I just want to get this situation out of the way, but
I forget what it's called, but yeah, it's
so I'm just going to put all these up for you to pause and read if you want to. It's ridiculous, basically. She also says that I was obviously upset, so I wasn't the most cooperative. As you guys, if you skip back in this video, you'll see I was extremely cooperative when I found out what was going on. I was being very amicable when I was trying to offer Cujo solutions and being amazingly supportive and sympathetic.
Right.
I refused to fully acknowledge that a mistake on my end causing Cujo not to get paid was at the heart of all of this. It wasn't. A stolen sample was at the heart of all of this. Yes, the publishers.
It's like he hasn't told. It's like Cujo is telling his girlfriend a whole different version of what's going on, and then she's reacting to that. Or she's just like, all right, honey, I'll help you figure this out. I'll go out there and no, not cool. He shouldn't even be talking to her.
Cujo, which wasn't anything to do with me. I'm not saying now remedied that, and there'll be a back payment for whatever percentage we end up on. No money's been lost here, right? That is something that was the publisher's fault, which I was very annoyed about, which I actually sent a message to the publishers about, explaining how annoyed I was about that situation, fighting for Cujo in that, when I didn't have to fight for Cujo because he was being a prick, right? So I sent that message to them anyway, fighting on Cujo's side, because despite all of this, I am a man of principle still, right? I kept threatening to sue and go public. No, I didn't. I wasn't threatening to sue. I did say I would go public if my song carried on being used as leverage. I gave them a very fair warning because they didn't need to use the song, the video as leverage, and they kept on doing that.
Right.
That was because I kept getting hundreds of messages a day from my fans being like, where's the video, where's the video? And I wanted to address it all at once. And I also felt like I was being treated extremely unfairly, right? I had to accept by giving up all my shares of the song in exchange for a fixed fee. Yeah, that was something between my lawyers. Ren took in public the next morning. Yes, I did.
He also claimed to me that he had been chasing publishing money for over a year with no reply, which is why he was so annoyed, as did his girlfriend. This was another lie, as proven. Okay, even if his battle is not with Ren. If you're not getting paid by the publisher, what does that have to do with Ren? He's not the publisher. Your fight is not with him. Ugh. Dude, I can show you screenshots. Proof literally claimed you were reaching out for a year last night. Hold up. I know there was a call regarding the sample a while back where he tried to get Cujo to give up all the rights to Clear in exchange for $3K. See, this chick, she's either purposely going to links to misrepresent, or Cujo is telling his girlfriend a whole different version of reality. You can tell just by the way it's one or the other. She's either being malicious or she's ignorant about the situation. She's reacting on what she thinks she knows, which again,
right, let's take this home now.
She shouldn't even be involved. Did she help write it? Is she his manager? If she is, okay, fair enough. But this isn't one of them like I'm gonna send my girlfriend to beat you up friggin' things. I mean, come on, grow up.
At this point, I've just lost all amicability, right? I'm pissed off. I messaged Cujo's girlfriend and him saying, this is the first time I've threatened to sue, but I'm like, if I see any more lies from you guys about this situation, I will sue you guys. Because it's like, that's my public image. Like, I pride myself on the fairness that I show everyone that I work with, right? And my principles. And I'm also very against greed, and I stand against it militantly, which a lot of you will know from my work and how I treat people. How I treat people that I work with, right? So them spreading this stuff that I'm trying to be greedy here massively hurts my public image. So
I can tell you as a reactor, he does. He makes it a point. I knew something was up when all of a sudden I got the message saying that the song had been claimed. It wasn't going to affect anything, but I couldn't, monetize it or anything. And in a lot of songs I don't monetize. So, but this is, I mean, I kind of assumed something was up, but sometimes it can be just up to, the devs made a certain change and now all of a sudden, the rules have changed. YouTube has a funny way of always moving the goalpost around. So yeah, it's, you take it as it comes, but this explains a lot.
I was like, if you guys lie anymore about this, yeah, I'm going to do something about it.
Which
basically
is libel, slander.
And then I'm talking to Cujo and things get more heated. We get another email from their lawyer saying, if you won't agree to our terms, we will take 100% of the song. That's where we stand on
Extortion.
it. That is final. If you do not agree to this retroactive master split, we're taking everything. So I messaged back. I'm going to show you that email. I messaged back, essentially summarizing this email. I just say, I'm going to take down the song myself. I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of you threatening me with my own song that I poured myself into. I've explained what it means to me. I've explained to both of them what it means to me.
Blatant extortion.
So I'm like, I'm taking it down myself. I don't want to let them win over this. I've been in situations in the music industry before where I had to concede because I was broke and I just had to let a powerful, greedy person win over me, and I know this is not the same situation. It's not like Cujo is like
but it brings
in
back
this huge
some
position
feels.
of power here, but how they've dealt with this whole situation was ridiculous. So I was like, rather than bend to this leverage and just out of principle, I'm just going to take the song off. And it's ironic, man, because the song is about greed, and it hurts me a lot that it's down now. It proper hurts me, man. I can't stress that enough because of what the song was and what the song meant to me, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I sent these emails. I also send a mass email out to everybody, the publisher, Cujo, the lawyers involved, just saying how disappointed I am across the board, even from people on my side. I was just disappointed at how this whole situation been dealt with, because ultimately at the core of this situation, the only person getting proper hurt financially from this is me. Right, because of my hard work that I've done to promote this music, because of my story and how that's been exploited. I'm the person who will suffer future losses for the earnings,
right.
And regardless of earnings, fuck earnings for a second, that song I was proud of. What it meant to people, I was proud of.
Yeah, dude. That
the messages that I get from people every day.
Felt like he was saying what I was thinking.
Telling me like how much they relate to the song, how much it helps them through difficult times. You know, like that's gone now. That's taken away from people. So yeah, I'm pissed off. Anyway,
it shook him out.
So I sent that email out. Me and Cujo share some pretty heated words. If you're a petty person, you'll probably like to pause on some of this.
We're petty, right? No, just a quick glance. Yeah, okay, just a bunch of shit talking, childish stuff. Yeah, back and forth. Not cool, not professional. Not, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
One of the things that took the piss the most that he said when I just lost my cool at this point. I lost all patience. One of the funny things he said after all this was like, if you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. So he was turning it around on me when he'd used the song as leverage. He said, if you cared about your fans, you leave it up for them. Then he said, I'm letting my pride and ego get in the way because I'm not paying him money that I didn't think he deserved for selling a stolen beat. Right? He's saying that that's my ego. It's my ego's fault. And then he's just saying, he kept saying, just pay me, let me get my bag, I want the money, just give me my money. I explained to him. I explained to him again, like, dude, I'm not the person that pays you the money. I've explained this to you so many times. It's the publisher. And he's like, all right, cool. It finally seems to sink in that, like, I haven't stolen this man's money. I haven't taken a penny of this man's money.
Your fight is not with
was at fault for not registering it properly, and they're resolving that, and then he'll get his money from the publishing. I don't want a penny of that. I don't care about that money. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever. He deserves a bit of money for making that part of the beat. Sure. He shouldn't have stolen a sample and sold it to me.
And then
theoretically, he could have all of his publishing taken away. But even after all of this, I still agreed to give him a bit of a publishing split, just to shut him up, man. So it's like, I could have been even more petty and dug my feet in there, but I just want this situation over with. So the song's down. The funniest comment that I'm going to end this on, because this is going to be some album artwork, by the way. Single artwork, sorry. This is the next announcement. He goes, all right, peace. Your music sucks, by the way.
Oh my God!
Which is really funny, considering, the message earlier where he told me that it was an honor, or it was like, it was really good to work with me. Funny. It's funny.
What a petty bitch.
Funny. But yeah, sure, my music sucks, brother. Cool. That's going to be the single artwork.
It's awesome.
Which leads me to my last point, ladies and gentlemen. I'm releasing a song about this whole situation, and it's dedicated to Cujo.
Oh.
And it's coming out next week. It's coming out a week today. It's called Cujo Beatdown. And I love it. We made an amazing video for it. I made a beat. By the way, the beat has no unlicensed samples in it. I made the whole thing myself. I wrote all the lyrics myself, all the beats are mine. And that'll be going up on YouTube and Spotify next week.
That's great.
I'll also
monetizing
be recreating Sick Boy, because those lyrics and that arrangement is mine.
He's like, you know what? You want to get shitty? I'm going to monetize this whole situation, and there won't be a fucking thing you can do about it. This is great. This is the best, this is stealth, like, boom. Shot to the heart, boom, done. There ain't nothing you can do about it.
So for the anniversary of Sick Boy the album, you will be getting Sick Boy the beat remade, bigger and better than ever, without Cujo's input on it.
Awesome.
So look forward to that as well. And then there's also a third song dropping. There's a little bit more positive. Next week's song is angry, all right? I'm just going to warn you there. And before Cujo and his, before they start complaining about blah, 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 artistic license here, you know what? I've said my piece. I'm not interested in ruining your life, bro, but I felt like I needed to get it out somehow.
You did this
and so
for
I
yourself,
got it out somehow. And I hope you're watching this, man, and I hope you enjoy the song, because it's dedicated to you, baby. Anyway, guys, I know that this was a long video, but I wanted there to be no doubt as to where everything stood in this situation, and why you don't have a song that means so much to so many people and means so much to me. But There will be a revamped version of that song coming very soon, guys.
Remixed.
And if you've made it this far, thank you. Sincerely. And I hope there can be no doubt as to this situation. Thank you.
I would add that I was one of those people that left a comment about the song, wanting him to know, you know, as a person that goes through the same issues. The whole song is basically, you know, he's spitting out what I'm thinking. You know, it's like all the stuff that I've been screaming for years and bitching about, and you know, it's like, you know, it's just like screaming to a wall. No, you know, and even the people that care about you, it's like they care, but what are they gonna do? They can't take it away. They can only just watch you suffer in silence, and it's just, but. You know, it's just so ironic that a song that's about, you know, pain and, you know, suffering and greed comes with so much pain, suffering, and greed. It's ridiculous. Cujo Beats, get your shit together. If you're going to start selling beats, know what you're doing, man. Like, for real. And your fight is not with the, if you're not getting paid out, you don't get to go after the artist. You already licensed it out. It's gone. They did their part. They paid for it. You can't just turn around and go back. I want royalties now. No, it's not the way it works. And trying to act like it is. And some of I mean, even the lawyer is getting at extortion levels of, you know, like breaking the law, and, you know, but I guess lawyers get to do that shit. And, you know, we're talking, there's like already like 3 things I can think of, not even counting the threats and the stupid, you know, like, and libel, slander, all that actually means something. And, you know, I'll even, you know, put that to the Ronnie Radke thing. You can have your opinion about somebody's music all you want. You can not like it. You can not like Ren's music and say, hey, I think your music sucks. But what you cannot do is start saying that they are something, or claiming facts that are not, you know, true, or have been proven even in a court of law to not be true. You can't insinuate. You can't tell people that, oh, well, they should have went off and hid in the shadows because why? It's like, you don't get to just, oh, I get to accuse you of something and good, go disappear. Well, that magic trick would work for everybody. You don't get to do that. That's not the way it works. And you get sued for that shit. You do. And, you know, and with the Radke end of things, he's going to win. With the Ren end of things, he's going to win. Because at the end of the day, he's going to monetize all of this shit. And, I mean, he's even going to monetize the screenshot. This is brilliant. This is brilliant levels of it's like, okay, dude, all right. You know what? I should be thanking you now, because now I'm going to make more money off this next single than Sick Boy did, because this has got a whole story that everybody's attached to now. Everybody's involved. So everybody knows, well, everybody that's a fan of Ren knows exactly what's going on. And every reactor is going to talk about exactly what's going on and exactly what this song is about and why it is, and why does Ren seem so mad? Well, sit down a second. Let me tell you a little story, kids. It's going to be prolific. It's just, that's masterful. That's the way you do it. That's, and perhaps maybe, Ronnie himself could take a page out of that, because I think he has a smart aleck sense of humor, and he sits there bored because in that line of work, there's a whole lot of hurry up and wait. And, you know, he's one of them people, he likes to be an asshole. You know, it's just his thing. So if you give him ammunition, he's probably going to use it. And, you know, it's just, he's got plenty of time on his hands, plenty of money. And, you know, so, you know, look at all the other people that make TikToks too. And, you know, it's like, oh, but you don't like it when it comes back at you. It's like, you know, when public figures, you know, they're not outside of the law. It's not like, oh, because you're a public figure, I can say whatever I want about you. Nope. It's not the way it works. People have been led to believe for quite a long time that that's the way it works because big rich companies and big media companies have been allowed to lie about people outright for years now and not suffer the consequences. Well, the tide is turning now, and a lot of people are finding out. Well, come to find out why a bunch of people lost their job at CNN was because CNN was going to have to pay out a lot of friggin' money for all the bullshit that these two asshats had been saying. But you know, you live, you learn, whatever. You know, I just, you know, when it comes to like misinformation and shit like this, when it comes to like the music world and stuff, you know, there's a lot that goes into like making music, and there's a lot to worry about with making music. You know, like I personally produce my own music from the ground up, you know, which I will have something to share with the rest of the class at some point here. But I don't depend on like, you know, preset samples or, you know, anything that comes with, you know, any stuff that even says that it's license free to use. I just, you know, I could base an idea off that, but I'd rather do that than use the actual thing. That's just my personal preference. It's, you know, the fact that, you know, he was shuffling, that's what he was looking for. He was looking for inspiration. He found it. You know, he assumed under good faith that the person that uploaded the sample didn't actually steal the shit themselves. So now to be treated like you're the thief and should have to be paying for all this, well, no. In fact, it's going to be the other way around. And if you want to go to court about it, it will be the other way around. So Cujo Beats and his girlfriend would be better off keeping their mouths shut and sitting back and feeling real lucky because, you know, there could be a slander libel lawsuit coming your way. So you remember, the internet is forever. You can delete shit all you want. There is somebody out there archiving it. Just as soon as you post it, somebody's archiving it. That's what, you know, it takes a lot of work to get things off the internet. I mean, I myself know from personal experience that, you know, you have to hire a company to get things taken off the internet for real. So they have to literally be deleted out of all the servers. They have to send out programs that search and find it and delete it. Stealth mode, just go out and now you see it, now you don't. I think it's a shame, but I also think this is a blessing in disguise for REN. I think Cujo played his hand wrong. I think he totally don't play poker, bro. You're gonna get your ass handed to you. Don't. Just, there's better ways to deal with things. And then using the internet as a weapon. Like, I'm going to say this shit online so all these people will hear it and then you'll shut up. It's like, no, you don't get to do that. You know, spreading rumors and all that shit in real life, that might work like that somehow. And, you know, but no, that's not how it works. I don't know how the laws are over there, but I mean, even the lawyer involved is looking at some like legal issues here as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know what the hell the situation is, but I'm seeing a lot of extortion going on here. This is a little extortion-y to me. So I don't know. But yeah, that was a bit of a yeah, but it's a good lesson, and it's a good thing to know. So yeah, we've done plenty of we've done some vids about Ren. He's very a very unique artist. I highly recommend checking him out if you haven't. He really is. He writes music and stuff that's relatable, even if his type of music isn't your brand. Like, listen to the words he's saying, and you're like, "Holy shit, is he on point?" It's just, and he's found this way to articulate it and say things that it's like, "Oh my god, he's saying what I'm thinking. Get out of my head, Ren." So, yeah, it's yeah, he's a very especially unique character, and we're lucky to have him in the music world. And I'm glad that he's not throwing in the towel on this song altogether, that he's going to make sure, because he knows and he appreciates how much other people appreciate it and how much, you know, it means to people. And he doesn't want to take that away from him. So he's going to put in the effort to make sure he can give it back to them without having to worry about people hanging shit over his head. So yeah, pretty neat story, huh? But yeah, people in the music world, man, I'm telling you, man, this, and I'm gonna link to what's her name, the music's top top music attorney, or music top attorney, whatever. She's very good. She in terms of service, if like, she's all about it. She's a very good lawyer. She's, you know, had some very big players on her channel talking about their issues in the music world and getting stolen from and stuff like that, and having to deal with publishers. So yeah, I think she's gonna make a little bit of dough on both sides of this thing, which, you know, she should, because she deserves it. But yeah, I highly suggest checking her channel out. I'll have you all linked up to that, because there's going to be obviously more to the story over there with all of that and her take on what's going on, and having a real lawyer rather than just some asshat talking about, you know, yeah, I have Lyme disease too. You know, but yeah, I suggest going over there. So I'll have that all linked up for everybody to go check out. But yeah, wow. Good luck, and I can't wait for the new single. This is going to be awesome. Totally cool, man. Monetizing this whole situation. That's so awesome, man.